everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to strip a model horse. If you're new to customizing, please check out my other video which shows you how to decide if your model needs to be stripped or not. Also, I'm not the one who came up with this idea. I found this idea on Friesian Furry's blog and decided to turn it into a YouTube tutorial. So all credit belongs to Friesian Furry for the recipe, and I will link her blog below so you guys can check her out. She has some really cool tutorials that I think everyone will like. So first up, some warnings. I'm not a professional, and this is just what I've gathered from a few days of research, so this method may not work for everyone or every model. I've tried a lot of different methods, and this is, in my opinion, the easiest way to strip a model. This method also uses a household cleaning product, so it's best left outside or in a ventilated area. Also, this is a chemical and can be a skin irritant, so please wear gloves and just use common sense and be careful. Okay, so here are some things you will need. Pine-Sol. There are variations of Pine-Sol, but I've only used the original, so if you happen to use a different kind than the original, let me know how it goes because I'm super interested. Next, you will need something to hold the model in. I'm using this plastic drawer thing that I found, so for smaller models you can use a plastic or a Ziploc bag. Since I'm going to be soaking more than one traditional, I needed a bigger space. So also please be sure that whatever container you're using is okay to interact with Pine-Sol. Next you will need a model to strip. This Bandit model had 2 thick layers of acrylic on top of what you're seeing now. What's left is a coat of red primer and whatever happens to be underneath that. You will also need a cup for measurement. I'm using this disposable plastic cup and it's also been marked so no one will use it. A toothbrush or bristle brush, either one of these works, but you will need something along the lines of that to scrub the paint off of the model. You will also need some gloves. I picked these gloves up from the dollar store. They're super cheap and totally worth it since we are dealing with a chemical cleaning product. Please be sure you get a type of glove that you are not allergic to. Okay, so step 1 is to prepare. The first thing we are going to want to do is to clean the bucket or whatever you're putting your model into. So all I've done was wash this bucket out with soap and water. Also, you can scrub the model with soap and water, but this is optional and I'm not showing it in the video. This can help loosen the paint ahead of time and makes it easier in the long run, but sometimes it doesn't do anything, especially if the model that you're stripping has primer on it. Okay, so now every model has what's called a breathing hole. It is usually in the nose or mouth, and this hole allows the plastic to breathe when the model is being made. If you're going to completely submerge your model, you would need to plug this hole, or else you're going to end up with a model that's filled with Pine-Sol water. Since I was only experimenting when I made this video, I didn't plug any of the horses I stripped because I was just doing one side, and as you can see in the background, it's really shallow. But definitely plug that hole if you're going to be like completely submerging your model. So now we are going to be creating the mixture. You're going to add the Pine-Sol mixture into the bucket, and for every 2 cups of Pine-Sol that goes into the bucket, you're going to be adding 1 cup of water, so it's a 2-to-1 ratio. I've tried using just Pine-Sol and then Pine-Sol water. The water mixture is overall safer and not as strong, and I really just believe it works better. So now that the mixture is made, we'll need to put it outside. So now you can place the models in the bucket, and you will need something to weigh down your model so he is completely covered. Obviously, as previously mentioned, I am only removing one side, so my models are just kind of floating around in there. Since it is being placed outside, you'll want to put some kind of lid on it to keep animals from getting into the liquid. Now, depending on the layers of paint and primer your model has, this could take a few hours or a few days. So I stripped this vintage foal who had 3 layers of thick acrylic and 2 coats of primer in about 4 hours. Some paints react really well to the Pine-Sol and come right off, and others take a really long time. So this Bluegrass Bandit body has been soaking for 4 days now, and most of the red primer still hasn't come off. She had 2 layers of acrylic over this that came off super easily, but obviously primer is going to be a lot tougher to remove than paint. So it's best to check the model every 6 hours or so, especially if you're going to leave it in there for like a really long time like I did. So now that the model has been in the mixture for a while, it's time to do the first scrubbing session. So I'm wearing a glove on the hand that will be holding the model, and the other hand will be only holding the brush so it doesn't come in contact with the Pine-Sol. So you're going to want to run the model under some warm water and begin scrubbing. So you want to scrub as much paint off as possible. It's also important to note that not every single bit of paint will be removed with Pine-Sol, so you're still going to have some stuff that you're going to have to sand off, especially in smaller areas and like really detailed areas like the muzzle and wrinkles and stuff. If your model comes out 90% clean of his paint, then you can probably just go ahead and wash them off and leave them to dry. However, if your model still has a lot of paint or primer stuck on him, you can leave him to soak for longer. So what you're seeing now is the primer on her face beginning to flake off and reveal the plastic underneath. The bubbles are from the Pine-Sol mixing with the warm water. I've also heard of some people having issues with the Pine-Sol making dents in the plastic. However, this horse has been soaking for I think 5 days now, and I haven't had this happen to me. So if it were to happen, it looks like you can easily fix it with some sanding and epoxy. So I'm just putting her back in here because she's going to have to stand there for a lot longer in order to get all this off. Okay, so that's about it. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe for more. It would mean the world to me. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more of these tutorial videos. I really enjoy making them. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or DM me over Instagram. I reply a lot faster with Instagram, but I'm also gonna take time to reply to everyone. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section and I will try my best to get back to you. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these tutorial videos, so if you have any suggestions, just go ahead and leave some in the comments. I would really enjoy it. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope this works for everyone.